On today's installment of Silver Screen News, if you're a geek, man, you're going to be happy because we've got Aquaman 2, we've got Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 2, we have got our first look, we've got some Fantastic Four rumors, we've got rumors about The Crow, we've got the Godzilla trailer, and we've even got some news about Avengers Secret Wars.
And we go back in time for Throwback Thursday on Silver Screen News.
Hello, everyone. Welcome once again to Silver Screen News, our weekly movie news show with me, Nico Leroux.
And me, the one AJ, Anthony Jordan.
This is our news show where we cover all the latest and greatest in the world of movie news, gossip, rumors, some scandals, and we give you our take and a bit of context so you can form your own opinions about everything going on in the world of movies. If you want to jump to a specific story, there are timestamps right below us, so you can go and jump to any news story you want. It is available on podcast as well, this show. So if you're, in the gym or traveling and you don't have time to watch a YouTube movie, we are available in audio format as well. All podcast platforms. Just search Movie Mount Rushmore, which is our show on Spotify and all the podcasts. But we need to start, as I said, with some geeky stuff, because it's a good week, AJ. But before we do, please remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. But with all the shameless plugs out the way, let us now crack on with what we call Hot Off the Press. Dung, 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 dung. Yes, AJ, let's get right into it. DC. It seems we can't go past a week without talking about DC, but this could be good news. This could be a good DC week because Aquaman 2, AJ. We hope, right? The Aquaman 2 teaser trailer has dropped. It might be by the time you watch this video that the full trailer has dropped, which is due to drop on Thursday, so the day after that this releases. But for now, let's just discuss this Aquaman 2 teaser, because the Aquaman 2 teaser trailer, Black Manta, comes for Jason Momoa's DC hero in long-awaited footage. So, here's the full story. At long last, Warner Brothers unveils fresh footage from this December's Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, the sequel to 2018's billion-dollar hit. Let that resonate with you. A billion-dollar DC movie. Aquaman will see the return of Jason Momoa as the eponymous DC hero and find him squaring off against another familiar face, Black Manta, played by the movie's and AJ's favorite actor in the world, Yahya Abdul-Mateen II. Despite Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom debuting in theaters in just over 3 months, Warner Brothers has yet to really kick off its marketing campaign, with the DC movie not even receiving a genuine trailer until now. Ahead of the official trailer, which will arrive on Thursday, DC has released a 30-second Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom teaser, which we're going to check out right now. Screen. See that cool?
I'm gonna kill Aquaman and destroy everything he holds dear.
It's Candyman!
Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom.
Cool, let's minimize that. And the action-packed trailer sets up the stakes of the new movie, which finds Black Manta defiantly declaring, "I'm gonna kill Aquaman and destroy everything he holds dear." Not cool. This is followed by a shot of Momoa's Arthur Curry discovering the burning remains of his father's home. The Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom trailer then fires off several rapid shots of the movie's colorful underwater action, including a glimpse of Arthur's fight against Black Manta. So, AJ, here's what I'm going to put to you this week. One, what did you think of this trailer? But two, given that every single DC movie as of late has failed to break 400,000, do you think Aquaman 2 is going to do it? I don't say a billion. It's definitely not doing that. Not in this climate. But do you think DC will be able to, let's say, end its DC EU on a high?
I hope so. The trailer actually looked pretty interesting, and Terrible Candyman may regain his name because his actual name, because he actually looked interesting. Where, and I don't want to compare it to Black Villain versus Black Villain, but where Jonathan Majors did not impress me a lot in well, by the end of Loki, or to tempt me to watch Ant-Man and the Quantum, or whatever it's called, Quantum Mania. Yeah. This made me look quite intrigued and interested. And bear in mind, I've not seen Aquaman 1 yet. So it made me feel like I need to catch up. Yeah. It makes me feel like I need to catch up and get in there real quick so I can catch this. It looks interesting. The fight looks decent. It gives me a shade of like when Ragnarok fell. Like I feel like it's about to go down. So I would like to feel it delivers. Here's hoping. I'm hoping enough. Look, if Aquaman can make $1 billion, he's going to attract a few people to come back. Fingers crossed is my wording on that.
So look, I'll say this: if you haven't seen the first Aquaman movie, I think it's not going to have aged well, because a little thing called Avatar 2 came out, which is going to make the underwater stuff in the first Aquaman movie look atrocious. To be honest with you, even looking at this trailer in a post-Avatar 2 world, it looks good, but you know, when you've done underwater stuff on the pedigree of Avatar 2, you just can't hold a candle to it. Do I think that Aquaman 2 is going to break this curse of not being able to cross 400,000 that DC currently has? Yeah, I do. I do not think it's going to be a flop. I think people genuinely like this IP now. People trust James Wan as a director, and Jason Momoa is inherently likable. And people are going to say, oh, but The Rock was in Black Adam 2. Yes, but Black Adam 2 had us waiting since 2014 and then underdelivered, and word got out quickly that it underdelivered. Aquaman 2 is coming off the back of DC's only $1 billion movie in Aquaman 1. So it ain't going to make $1 billion. 600,000 to 700,000. I'm actually going to call it. I think it's going to do that well. AJ, anything you want to add on this?
I think the previous success is what's going to help. Where Black Adam, to most people, was also seen as the villain to Shazam. He was meant to be seen as the hero. It was enough to throw people off. Yes, it was cool that it was The Rock, but it was like, well, we've just had Shazam. Is it linked? Is it not? There was no link. We're going too far back in time. This one is the same actor delivering more of the same stuff, minus the lady who was in court earlier this year or late last year. And like it should all be in the right position for them. So, you know, best of luck, DC.
You've made me forget about that. Damn. Yeah, DC can't catch a break between Ezra. Oh, Jesus Christ. I forgot about that. And the court of public opinion is a powerful thing. I'm going to stand by what I said. I think Aquaman 2 is going to do, comparatively, grading on a curve, I think it's going to do quite well. Let us know what you think. Are you excited for Aquaman 2? What do you think is going to make at the box office? Let us know down below. All right, AJ, our next story. We continue with the fun. This came out of nowhere, and it made me oh so happy. AJ, a cult favorite movie for a lot of people, and for us here at the Silver Screen Dudes, The Crow, is finally being rebooted. Now, I say finally, because you got to remember one thing, AJ. This movie has been through so many, it's coming. The reboot's on its way. There was a point where Joseph Gordon-Levitt was meant to be playing the Crow. There was a point where Jason Momoa was going to be the Crow. There was a point where Keanu Reeves was going to be the Crow. This has gone through so many. It's alive and it's dead. It's coming, now it's not. But it seems we're actually there. And look, here's the full story from Deadline, who are one of the reliable outlets. The Crow reboot with Bill Skarsgård and FKA Twigs flies to Lionsgate in 8-figure domestic deal. This comes from Toronto. Exclusive! Lionsgate has just tied up an 8-figure deal for domestic rights to the Crow reboot. Bill Skarsgård, he of It fame, singer-songwriter FKA Twigs, Honey Boy, and Danny Houston from Succession lead Rupert Sanders. And Rupert Sanders is noted for doing Snow White and the Huntsman, so not a very good movie, but leading Rupert Sanders' reimagining of the 1994 cult classic that memorably starred Brandon Lee in his last film role. So, In the original revenge thriller, a man who is brutally murdered comes back to life as an undead avenger, or Sting, of his and his fiance's deaths. Both movies are based on the graphic novel of the Gothic character created, written, and illustrated by James Barr. CAA Media Finance handled the deal for the film's domestic rights. John Biondo oversaw on behalf of Lionsgate, with the pact finalized last Wednesday night at the Toronto International Film Festival, and market gets underway. The movie is expected to release next year. The script for the reboot comes from Oscar nominee Zach Bryan, he of King Richard fame. That's encouraging. And Will Snyder, also starring Laura Byrne from Foundation, Sammy Buagilla from A Son, and Jordan Bolger from The Woman King. The Crow is produced by Victoria we've got a lot of producers' names here, so I'm not going to go through all of that. But yeah, AJ, it seems like it's you can believe it, it's happening. And we're getting it next year. So I'm gonna make this really simple. Do you believe this? Are we finally after? I mean, this has been Black Adam length of waiting to get this movie. Do you think this is gonna happen? And do you think people care?
So if it's not, there's a lot of people linked to it. That would be like a lot of like retconning. You've gone into producers, actors, and everything. So I feel like it will come along. Do I think it's going to be? I don't want to say good. I'm just apprehensive. I feel like The Crow lives off of the legacy of. Here's the thing, and I say it respectfully. Brendan Lee wasn't exactly the world's most sought after actor, but it was the cult and the status behind it. Oh my God, Bruce Lee's son has died in this horrific accident filming this film, and that helped the cult status of it. And I'm not saying The Crow's a bad movie, but it has this kind of it's a weird. It has this weird reason behind watching it. It's not. I don't want to call it morbid sense of watching it, but you feel like, oh, you're doing it to honor the guy, and then it's like, okay, it's actually a decent movie, and it stays there in its cult status. Now to reboot this film, I feel like it's a bit of an injustice, and I don't know how people will appreciate it. So I don't know how it will work for those who are open to The Crow to watch it again, and if they will appreciate it. And there's others who are going to be like, well, no, The Crow's legacy remains the way it was. I mean, Crow 2 in itself was not something to write home about. So I'm kind of happy, but also very apprehensive, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I'm very torn as well, because you're telling me that the director of Snow White and the Huntsman is going to helm this. Warning. But then you're telling me that the writer of King Richard is penning this. Yeah, see, now I'm confident, because that was a good film, in my opinion. I enjoyed King Richard. Bill Skarsgård as the Crow? Great bit of casting right there. That works for me. Not who I would have thought of, but now you're telling me that's the case. Yeah, I'm game for that. The Crow is a cult movie. It never had a massive following. So they've got to tread very carefully here and make sure that this is made on a low budget and that it does kind of John Wick level marketing, impactful, but not high cost. And it should find an audience. But, just look, taking the John Wick movies as an example, those have never made huge amounts of money. Those are literally the modern day cult movies. They have an audience and it's getting bigger, but they've never crossed $1 billion. The John Wick is not $1 billion franchise per movie. In total it is. But if The Crow does something similar to that, whereby it just gets its teeth in and word of mouth spreads, and it's made for a minimalist budget like the original was, you could have something special here. I'm excited for it. Let's just see what happens with this one. Anything you want to add?
Look, casting wise, it looks perfect. It's the legacy of The Crow that I feel is the awkward selling point for it. But hey, here's hoping.
It's hoping indeed. Let's put it over to you guys. Are you excited for this Crow reboot? And are you a fan of the original? Let us know down below. Please leave your thoughts and your comments, and do be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. Okay, up next. So last week, or was it the week before, we said that there's going to be a Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 2.
Yes.
Now, this is a two-part story, because the first part was going to be me saying this was actually going to be in our following news segment, because the news broke last week. But there's also some additional news about Winnie the Pooh that broke yeah, literally in the last 24 hours. So it makes it onto hot off the press. So here's the thing, right? Now, let me talk you through the last week's stuff first. And it was just some images, just some very, very vague images. But we get there's stuff that we can jump into here. So let's just enlarge these images. Can you see these okay?
You can indeed.
Okay, cool. So first thing you can notice is the mask. This looks a lot better than the blood and honey mask.
Indeed. They got money.
Especially if you look around here. I don't know if you can see the mouse, but if you look around here, there's actually some hair on it this time. And also what's interesting, look at this hand, this human hand. This is a kid's hand. So this, I think, is a young Christopher Robin seeing Winnie the Pooh for the first time. Now, the next image, I'm assuming that's old Christopher Robin. This monstrous apparition, I've got no clue, but it's this next image that gets me really excited. First off, in the foreground, feathers. Is that an effed up owl? Are we getting
back as well? Yeah.
Well, this is the other thing. Look at this new version of Piglet, because in the first movie, minor spoiler, Piglet bites the dust. But apparently not. And again, Piglet's also getting the Pooh treatment, whereby he's getting an update. He looks nastier. He looks like something from out of, I don't know, Twisted Metal with his big belly now and everything. So that's cool. But now these were just some images to feast on. But now here's a really tantalizing bit of news regarding Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 2, which, listen, I can't help but get excited about this weird little movie. Here we go, AJ. So, Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey first looks reveal bigger sequel and a first look at Tigger.
Ooh.
The horror film, yes, the horror film Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey made $5.2 million at the box office on a $100,000 budget. This not only meant that a sequel was inevitable, but that it would be a higher budget. Now, the first look at Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 2 has been shared below. As noted by the Hollywood Reporter, where the images were shared, the new film is currently in production and comes with a bigger budget, more kills, and an Olivier Award-winning BAFTA-nominated star in the form of Simon Callow from 4 Weddings and a Funeral, who has joined the cast. Can you believe it? It's mental. I want to find the images of Tigger. It's not here. Let me just stay on this page. And here's the first look at Tigger. Let's find him. Ooh. Look at that.
Do you know what's funny? He reminds me more of King from Tekken, but it's all kinds of twisted.
Go up close. Look at that. It's like one of those old B movies, like, you know, the Creeps and stuff. It's really tapping into its B movie roots. And I love the fact that it's doing this in a kind of homage but self-aware kind of way. So, AJ, seeing these images, and I just want to leave this image of Tigger up because it is so cool. I shouldn't like it, but I love it. AJ, I know you haven't seen Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey, but I imagine that's something you're probably going to change. Are you excited for Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 2?
Look, as we said the other week, this is the film, well, the original is the film that saved cinema. So, look, it's nice to see that they've got money behind it, and it's nice to see that they've invested in it correctly. Again, the Tigger image, for some reason, makes me think that if we'd done a really dark Tekken, that's exactly how I'd want to see King. But aside from that, all of the images that have come up are on point. Like, it feels creepy. The other one, you're like, what the hell? These feel creepy. It feels like they've put the money in the right place, and I'm happy with that. Yeah, I would love to watch the first one and then check the improvement. And I have a feeling that based off of what happens, this ain't the end. I have a feeling that it may not be Sharknado territory, but there's going to be like a point where people are going to be like, Blood and Honey 4? Really? Like, I feel like we're going to be getting that. Each time the money's just getting a little bit better.
Yeah, so we've got an image of Owl, which looks awesome. We've got this image of Tigger, which looks awesome. Playing on your idea that let's make a franchise out of this, a low budget, high turnover. I mean, high turnover in relation to the budget, obviously, but a high turnover horror B movie franchise. Now, up next, I want to see Rabbit, and I want to see a really twisted version of Kanga and Roo, but like where they've metamorphosed together, and Roo's like kind of like in Total Recall, where Roo's like the brain and Kanga's like the killing machine or something. Let's have some fun with this.
Kind of like Kang from Turtles. It's just...
Literally like Kang from Turtles. It's got to be like that. I love this. I'm so excited for this. I can't tell you. You know it's not going to be good, but that's part of the fun. Anything you want to add to this?
No, bring it on. Honestly, just bring it on. That's what I'm thinking. I'm waiting.
And we both need to see Blood and Honey 1. I haven't seen it. I need to. It's online. It's free online.
I did not know. Okay.
It's Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. Watch online. You don't even need to sail the 7 seas. It's literally there to watch.
Ooh.
Or to purchase on Amazon. Up to you.
Continue making it the best-selling film of that year.
Are you guys excited for Blood and Honey 2? Let us know down below, because we sure are. All right, up next, we continue in the realm of Le Geek, because our last hot off the press story is... I need to preface this by saying, take everything you're about to hear with a massive grain of salt. This is more rumor than news, but it's Fantastic Four rumor. Now, the first thing I'm going to... it's 2 tweets, but they're from semi-reliable sources. The first one, when I saw it, I thought, nah, forget it. But then the second one made me think, oh, hang on. There's some smoke here. And where there's smoke, there's fire. AJ, here's the first tweet, quoting My Time to Shine, who we spoke about last week, remember? Just to take the image off. My Time to Shine, remember that when they first made their post and Twitter said, no, this is just speculative, then Twitter redacted their warning, which kind of tells me that My Time to Shine Hello has some insider knowledge here. And remember, that was in relation to the Robin being in the Batman 2. So My Time to Shine Hello. Sources confirmed that right before the strikes, Matt Smith passed on the role of Reed Richards in Fantastic Four. And the next one to get an offer is no less than Jake Gyllenhaal. The weird part is that he already played a role in the MCU, Mysterio in Spider-Man Far From Home. So what? Nah, it can't be Gyllenhaal. That doesn't make sense. He's already been a villain. Audiences are stupid. We can't figure that out. Now we get to the second tweet. From Grace Randolph, love her or hate her, she gets things right sometimes. Also, I hear the most recent draft of the Fantastic Four has them coming not just from the 1960s, but also a different universe than the main MCU.
I had a feeling that was going to be the call. I had a feeling that's the way to play the call.
More multiverse stupidity. But I'll say this. While I don't support this idea that the MCU needs a soft reboot, I think that's premature as all hell. But people are already calling for it because Phase 4 was a letdown. There's something that... listen, I don't want this to happen. I don't think the MCU should be rebooted yet. It's too fresh. Because you know what will happen if they reboot it. All the crybabies will come out and it'll be like, that's not my Tony Stark. I miss Robert Downey. That's not my Captain America. I miss Steve Rogers. Jesus, we've already got a new Captain America and people are already saying, that's not my Captain America. If you reboot it and cast someone new, oh God, the hellfire and brimstone. You know, and audiences, like to quote Daniel Bryan, audiences are fickle as all hell. You know, you've got people now on the DC side clambering and saying like, oh, look at the genius of Zack Snyder's work. There was a tweet recently where someone was saying, hot take, this is detail that no one noticed. And it's Superman looking down literally just looking down and saying, they did that intentionally when Superman was looking with his X-ray vision to see Lois Lane is safe on the ground. And it's like, oh my God, the reach of reaches, people.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're praising these guys' works, and yet the DC movies aren't making money, which is why they're rebooting. Where were you all? Right?
Exactly.
So don't reboot the MCU. Not yet. Basically, what the MCU needs to do, if you are going to reboot it, is it needs to just stop for like 5 to 10 years, keep making comic book movies that are just not interconnected, go a bit old school on this. And then in 10 years' time, you can relaunch this big shared universe ideal. But do you think there's any smoke here with the idea that we've got two separate sources, one saying that it could be Gyllenhaal acknowledging that he's already been in it, and then the follow-up from another source who is semi-reliable saying, yeah, I've seen the script and they're going to be from the 60s and there's going to be multiverse involved? Because that to me says Gyllenhaal could be there.
Hello?
I'm here, dude.
Okay, right. Froze a bit there. It's an interesting one because, again, reliable sources. One that made X
semi-reliable.
What I'm getting at is, X had to redact just last week based on the fact that they were like, I have proof. So, there's certain elements to it, smoke and fire. It would be really interesting to say that they've come from the 60s and into modern time. And I could see like a really cool story where Peter Parker, who has seen that to be Peter Parker, you don't need to look like Peter Parker, because he saw two different versions of a man with the same name as him literally last year or the year before. So, you can play the game that he is there. He's about to report this story and he doesn't trust this guy because the last guy who looked like that screwed him over, looked like a hero, ended up being a villain, and has him framed. There were so many elements that he would be like, but no, I'm not falling for this twice. And this guy is Mr. Bland himself, Reed Richards, who has nothing but pure intentions. And like it could be an interesting twist. I can actually see Jake giving Reed life, So it's something that I can work with. It would be an interesting story, and it does find a way of merging and giving the Fantastic Four a bit of juice instead of just being like, oh, we've been space travelers and we've done this. Like, you've literally got Spider-Man who refuses to believe him, which also then gives us a very interesting story of Doctor Doom possibly working with Spider-Man and convincing him, and Spider-Man gets screwed once again. Like, there are so many different twists and turns to it that it seems exciting in fantasy booking. Yeah, but earlier on we talked about Black Adam and the Crow being forever in development. This Fantastic Four, in terms of an MCU story, has been, this is 12 years in the making in itself, isn't it? People have been waiting for these guys for a minute. I know we've had another Fantastic Four, but a Disney Fantastic Four, people have been waiting. So
not as much as they've been waiting for Blade. Woo!
Well, yeah, that's a different story in itself. Yeah.
A movie I believe is not happening, by the way. I think it's gonna be a cold day in hell until you see Mahershala Ali play Blade. But
it should be sad, but hey, it is what it is.
Guys, what do you think? Jake Gyllenhaal as Reed Richards? Yes or no? And do you buy this whole the Fantastic Four will be from the 60s and they'll be somehow integrated via the multiverse? This multiverse thing needs to stop. It's not a good saga. I really am over it. But anyway, let me know what you guys think down below. And please do like the video and subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. Right, AJ? That was it for everything that is hot off the press. We've got 2 bits of news from last week. So that just brings us on to a section that we simply call News Update. Quick camera adjustment. I like it. I see.
Oh, it's a running nose. It's a running nose. I was just reaching for tissues while the video was playing. Trust me. I had to say it, guys. I'm fighting through this week.
So, last week we looked at Toho's new Godzilla movie, Godzilla Minus One. The week before that, we saw the first images of Apple TV's Godzilla, or Monarch Legacy of Monsters, as it was called. AJ, we now have a trailer for Monarch Legacy of Monsters.
Oh, nice.
Yes. It's nice, isn't it, when you see one news story develop over the course of a few weeks? Yeah. And it's nice when it's not Barbie. No disrespect to Barbie, like all the love. But yeah, we have got a trailer for where is it? Here we go. For Monarch Legacy of Monsters. Kurt Russell's Godzilla spin-off. Sorry, let me try that again. Kurt Russell's Godzilla spin-off show unveils a first look trailer. And AJ, here's the trailer.
I don't know if this will get to you. I hope so. I can't go back in time and fix all the mistakes I made.
Oh.
But maybe I could leave something for the future.
Skull Island? Where could that be? Oh, I see Godzilla.
A legacy.
John Goodman's there. So he's linking it all together.
The world is on fire.
San Francisco.
I decided to do something about it. Hopes, dreams, ambitions. The mission was to protect their world
Rodan!
and ours.
It's what we wanted Monarch to be.
This is nice.
Monsters.
That's cool.
If you come with me, you'll know everything, I promise.
You're kidding me? This is on TV? Are you freaking kidding me? That's gonna be on TV?
That's big.
Dude.
That's big. That's big.
Dude. That's gonna be TV. Godzilla spin-off series Monarch Legacy of Monsters has released its first trailer, taking back into the Monsterverse for more city-destroying carnage. Set between films and the Western take on the giant Japanese beasties, the series will deal with the massive changes to society once the existence of kaiju become public knowledge. It also deals with the mysterious organization Monarch and how they are connected to everything, with a battle emerging because those who wish to expose certain secrets to the world and those who wish to keep them buried. Kurt Russell plays Army Officer Lee Shaw, who is at the center of all the drama, with his real-life son Wyatt Russell playing a younger Shaw in a fun casting twist. And my God, Wyatt looks like him. There's also the Flash actress Kiersey Clemens and Mayor of Easttown's Joe Tippett in the cast, while John Goodman reprises his Bill Randa from Kong Skull Island, with Workaholics actor Anders Holm playing the younger Randa. WandaVision's Matt Shankman has directed the first 2 episodes. That's reassuring. In addition to serving as executive producer alongside Chris Black, who did Severance and Star Trek Enterprise, and Matt Fraction of Hawkeye. Okay, that last one, not so exciting. The next film in the Monsterverse, Godzilla X Kong, The New Empire, is set to follow on from Godzilla vs. Kong and land in cinemas in April next year. So, AJ, talk to me. Talk to me. Let's just leave this image up of Beastie Boy here. What did you think of this trailer, and how excited are you for this new Godzilla series?
So this is the thing. It's that statement you said of this is on TV. Like, honestly, it felt like a trailer to a movie. I love the casting is uncanny. They done really well by getting Wyatt Russell to play a younger version of his dad. You know, that's like getting Ice Cube and O'Shea Jackson Jr. to do this stuff. Like they've got the face. It's all in place. So that like, credit to them. It looks amazing. Excuse me. It looks amazing. It looks quality. You could just smell the quality of it. The fact that a TV series looks like a film trailer says so much. And it's amazing that just hearing, you know, Monarch, his like Legacy of Monsters, I'm excited for this, but excited of what can come beyond this. I picture season 2, how they challenge a different series of monsters. It really had me fascinated. I just hope it matches up to the expectation, because that looks awesome.
I'm not even lying. My Apple Watch told me that my heart rate jumped from 76 beats per minute to 85 beats per minute. I'm not even lying, during this trailer while we were just watching it. I am so excited to see this. I can't tell you. The fact that Matt Shackman of WandaVision is going to be helming this is so exciting. The fact that they've got the writer from Severance involved with this is so exciting. The fact that it's Apple TV, who are just putting out banger after banger at the moment, is crazy exciting. And I love what they we can talk about the big special effects. Sure, it's crazy that it's that good on TV, but it's the little details that I'm so impressed by, like that sign on the airport which said Godzilla evacuation route this way. It's like, okay, cool. So we've now established this world very clearly that these things are part of the fabric of our society and we have to live around them. And I love the fact that that story is going to unfold. I'm so freaking excited for this. I can't tell you. And also, can we just say Godzilla X Kong next year? Oh, we're getting the second Joker movie. We're getting June 2. Sadly, it was delayed, but that's now a 2024 movie. We're getting Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 2. We're getting the Crow reboot, and we're getting Godzilla X Kong. Yo, 2024 is a good year so far, and it hasn't even started. Anything you want to add to this?
No, it's all looking positive. It's this is what we've been longing for a minute. You know, good TV, good cinema again. So keep it coming, guys. Keep it coming because you are not hearing us complain.
You're not. You're really, really not. I want to hear from you guys. What did you think of this this Monarch Legacy of Monsters trailer? It's so exciting. But do you share our excitement for this? Let us know down below. And AJ, from one big blockbuster, we're gonna wrap up the news this week with what should be a big blockbuster, but I'm not sure how I feel about it. Because AJ, Avengers Secret Wars.
Okay.
No, look at your reaction there.
I know. Listen. Secret Invasion. Secret Invasion is the TV show.
Secret Invasion is the TV show. Completely.
I've still never touched that. That's to tell you how, like,
don't worry about it.
I know I need to build into this stuff, but I'm just not building into it.
Marvel have completely, under the brilliant, and I'm saying that sarcastically, leadership of Bob Chapek, diluted their product to such a level that you actually question if an MCU movie is going to be good now. It's been so badly diluted by and it's going to take 2 to 3 years for Bob Iger to right the ship. Like, any success like the MCU has for the next 2 years genuinely will not be down to Bob Iger. It takes that long for his stewardship to take place and to take effect. Remember when Bob Chapek took over and it didn't start bad? And I was saying, like, it's going to take 2-3 years before you see it get bad. Look at Phase 4. Look at Indiana Jones 5. Look at Elemental. All these movies which should have been bangers. That was what I was warning about for the last few years. Now we're living through that. Bob Iger returns. We need some years for him to get his power back. And, you know, the fact that Chapek decided to take away power from Kevin Feige creatively is like, sorry, how many stripes does the man need to earn before you actually just give him complete autonomy creatively? Like, they weren't even letting Feige cut his own trailers in the end. You remember at the red carpet of Doctor Strange 2, they dropped the trailer on the day without notifying Kevin Feige that showed John Krasinski in the trailer before the movie actually premiered. And they asked him on the red carpet, like, so John Krasinski's in this. And he looked on the red carpet and went, sorry, what? How did you know about that? And they're like, well, the trailer's dropped. And he actually said on the red carpet, I didn't know anything about that.
Fail, epic fail.
That's Bob Chapek for you. Arse hat. Bob Iger's back now, and we hope that that's going to usher in another golden age of comic book movies. But we're now talking about Avengers Secret Wars, which I don't know if you've read the comic book, AJ. Bear with me. I'm sure I've got it here somewhere. Here's my baby. I'm a proud owner of Avengers Secret Wars. AJ, listen, I'll be the first to say, it's not the world's greatest comic. It's a spot fest.
I'm sure it is.
These big omnibus comics, I know Big Tone absolutely loves it. They don't tell a great narrative. they're spot fests. It's fan service without it's visual noise. It's good visual noise, but it's visual noise. That's what Secret Wars is. It's like, let's put everything in one area. Let's have the X-Men. Let's have all the villains. Let's have Venom. Let's have Carnage. Let's have Ultron. Let's have Doctor Doom. Let's have Apocalypse. Let's put everyone in there. It's like, and so no one's gonna have time to breathe or get developed, right? Doesn't matter. The fans will love it. It's like, okay, okay, this is a lot to listen. I don't know how that's gonna look in comic book form. We'll see. What worries me inherently is who we're now talking about to direct this thing. So here's the story.
Oh boy.
I don't know how you're gonna feel about this, but yeah, there's the man. Acclaimed director Sam Raimi is apparently being considered to direct.
I've seen his picture somewhere, and I did. Okay, go on.
Sam Raimi is apparently being considered to direct the highly anticipated Avengers Secret Wars in a surprise twist for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The news comes from the Twitter account My Time to Shine Hello, yes, them again, which has previously provided leaks that turned out to be true. So My Time to Shine Hello, here we go, here's the tweet. Sources confirmed that Sam Raimi is Marvel's top choice to direct Secret Wars. Although no official details have been released, Avengers Secret Wars is expected to reunite Raimi with Tobey Maguire, the original Spider-Man, and may even feature Hugh Jackman, who recently returned in Deadpool 3. Kevin Feige made the formal announcement for Avengers The Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars at San Diego Comic-Con last year. Together, these two films will serve as the two-part conclusion to the multiverse saga. They will be released barely a year apart from one another, as was the case with Infinity War and Endgame. Not a bad thing. However, this time they won't be shot back-to-back, mistake, and will be produced by two different teams of writers and directors. Another mistake. As fans are aware, Destin Daniel Cretton has signed on for both the Kang Dynasty and Shang-Chi 2. So nobody knows what Marvel Studios has planned with directors and their schedules. So, AJ, I'm, with respect, going to take the lead on this one. There's a lot I need to get off my chest here. The first problem is, who the hell are the Avengers now? Who makes up this team? Like, I know Thor's there. I know we've got Falcon, who's now the new Captain America, but who are the Avengers? Black Panther exists, but I don't believe Shuri's Black Panther has been made part of this. Spider-Man, no one remembers who he is. Tony's dead. Cap's old. And Hulk
Bruce is technically dead.
Bruce is busy being a professor. Like, who are the Avengers? You're not going to sell me on the idea that it's going to be a young Avengers, which is obviously what they've been teasing. I can't tell you how much I hate everything about that. That's the first point. You don't have an Avengers team. So the idea of assembling everyone, forget assembling. You need to establish these people before you even assemble them. And you need to make me care about them before I care about them being assembled. There's your first problem. Second problem. Yes, Sam Raimi is responsible for delivering one of, if not the best Spider-Man movie ever made. Not taking that away from him. But you have to admit, tonally and thematically, those Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies are worlds apart from what the Avengers movies are and from what the MCU is. They don't feel like they live in the same universe. Yes, you can put Toby in as fan service in No Way Home, even though it didn't make sense, but that's fine. To give us the Spider-Man 2 tone in an Avengers movie, yuck. Like, no, absolutely not. There are rumors that Alfonso Cuarón, he of Gravity and he of Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban fame, is also being eyed for this. That I'd be more interested in. I'm going to give you a director right now who I think you'll agree with. For me, the most proficient action director working today. And I'm not talking pipe dream. I'm not talking about let's get Nolan, let's get Spielberg, let's get a Peter Jackson or a Martin Scorsese. Forget that. These are pipe dream ideas. I'm talking about in the realm of reality, in the realm of real possibility. There is only one person who I believe would do this, because what does an Avengers movie have to give? Action. Yes? We're assembling everyone. We're not telling a story in an Avengers movie. We are doing big set piece action. And there's only one person, and there is one person who does action better than arguably anyone in the modern day. Chad Stahelski. Who's Chad Stahelski? John Wick director. Watch John Wick 4. Look at the action and the way that's shot in that, and tell me that wouldn't fit into a battle or battles or fights in Avengers movies. That's my pick. So AJ, your thoughts on there not being in Avengers, your thoughts on Sam Raimi, and also give me your dream pick for directing an Avengers movie.
I'm going to come off the bat and say I'm not too sure who my ideal director would be. At one point, I was kind of toying. I thought you were going to say James Wan, and I was like, well, he's doing Aquaman. Would he jump? That's a different situation. Raimi, if I'm not mistaken, was he not behind Doctor Strange 2? Yep. Right. Not exactly the best feedback in the MCU world, was it? Nope. I enjoyed the film, just not as great as it could have been.
And also not as great as the first Doctor Strange movie.
Right, this is what I'm getting at. The issue we have is that it would be Doctor Strange to assemble the Avengers between him and
Wong.
Oh God, he's the Sorcerer Supreme. Can't remember. Wong. It would be between those two, because essentially Wong has been in every TV show that you can imagine, and Doctor Strange is the only one who can give Spider-Man back his memory. Like, that's the only thing we're going to do to make any of this believable or going on. As you said, the Guardians, all right, they said Star-Lord will return. The rest of the Guardians have absolutely retired. Thor's a dad. Love is whoever Love is at the moment. What does constitute the Avengers? It's now a case of, oh, by the way, we need you. Oh, yeah, you were affiliated too. Yes, Captain America will always stand at the forefront. And now we're going to have Sam adjusted to the fact that he's there. This is the perfect time to bring Eternals in, because, hey, the guys who were secretly in a war and then just vanished again with no appearance of anybody else, that's going to be fantastic. Shang-Chi fought his dad. Like, everyone who has been somewhere in a film is not giving me anything to tell me that this is worth it. The only other thing that we can do, and this is like either of us haven't seen it, we have Ant-Man to look forward to. Yay! Like, it's not the best build-up for me to be like, this is it. Where we had backstories for everyone before, and it kind of like, oh, you're cool, you're cool. Bearing in mind, I did not think I was going to enjoy 4. The films that you gave me was like, I love this guy. By the time we get to somewhere, we've got it. We also know who his brother is, what it is, what the reasons behind their fight is. It doesn't feel that way now. And then what I think is an even bigger problem is the one that you called, is you can't mix your directors and producers in a 2-part film. There's a tone, there's a story, there's a narrative in the way that I'm going to do something for it to continue. So what, we're going to have this script and then it's going to be like, oh, I want this, I want that, scrap this, scrap that. Now, to me, as an initial director, this is key and instrumental for this to be there. The second director looks at it and goes, oh, we don't need that. I mean, you don't believe what I'm saying.
Ryan Johnson.
Well, look, we could go there and let's just play that special game that people call the Schneider Cut. There's something. Or do you want to play another game? Let's look at Fantastic Four. Yes, really cool. Go onto another planet. Film changes because people aren't on the same page. Not to you listen right now. I'm going to fantasy book. You can have Martin Scorsese and Christopher Nolan, and let's add Steven Spielberg and George Lucas into the mix as well. All amazing. The fact that these two haven't worked. Okay, Spielberg and Lucas do, but you can't just mix two things together and be like, oh, you're both great, it's going to react. It doesn't always create greatness. So you need to have a tone. It needs to have a separate tone. You can't put George Lucas in Star Wars you
mean a single tone?
Come again? Yeah, it can't have
a single tone. Yeah,
having two separate directors create a 2-part story. Yes, Lucas and Spielberg can create Indiana Jones, but you're not going to put George Lucas on Star Wars. It just I keep saying Star Wars, Jurassic Park. It needs to have its tone. It needs to have its element and feel. It needs to breathe the way it does. You can't just mix and match and be like, oh, yeah, that will do it. That has me nervous as all hell. You've not built your team, and now you're going to say, yeah, you do for part 1, you do part 2. Yeah, everyone's happy. No. It's a mess. The Secret Wars is actually happening in Disney Studios, not on TV.
I like that. Well, yeah, we're gonna leave it there. Oh, I'll add one thing. There's one other director who I thought of who, if you don't want to go down the crazy action, but you want to do a guy who's very adept at sci-fi and who can breathe life into something, you'll agree with me here. Travis Knight, Bumblebee's director.
Do you know what? I'm going to mix back onto the previous story. That would be a perfect director for Fantastic Four. If we're going to throw it back a bit, he knows how to throw it.
Yeah, wouldn't he? Travis Knight is a Fantastic Four director, breathe life. Because when he took over Transformers, I mean, that series was, and I love this franchise, as you know, that franchise had become soulless garbage. And he, with a minimalist budget, made what's probably the best Transformers movie out there. Making it a character piece and knowing when to do action and knowing this is what he did so well, and you've got the bruise on your arm to show for it. He knew when to do fan service, but do it in small amounts so that you felt satisfied. Ravage, eject, and nerdgasm, and now we move on with our story.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. He balanced Bumblebee so well. He'd be good as an Avengers director.
I could work with that.
I want to know what you guys think. Excited or not for Sam Raimi? Do you believe the rumor? Who would be your dream casting if not Sam Raimi to direct Avengers Secret Wars? Who the hell are the Avengers? Let us know down below, because we sure as hell don't know. All right, AJ. With all that done, let's get dusty. Let's get old. Let's get wrinkly. Eesh. Let's take a walk down that long and lonesome road that we call simply TBT Boulevard as we go back to Throwback Thursday movies.
Get your hashtags up. That's right. We're throwing it back. We're going back a couple of decades, and we are celebrating the films that were released this week in history. So no, we're not talking last year. We're going back 10, maybe 20, maybe even 30. It doesn't matter, but we're going to go back in time.
It's a goodie this week. We're going back 20 years and 30 years and giving you some kind of mini reviews for movies, which I know we've both seen, which is great. Let's start with 20 years. Nicolas Cage and Sam Rockwell is Matchstick Men.
No!
20 years old this week, my man.
I mean, it logically makes sense. I would explain why I kind of blank on certain areas of it, but I remember this film being a nothingness. Like, I had no idea of Matchstick Men, hadn't heard any promotion. My dad's friend, who was like my movie hookup 20 years ago, and we just was like, Matchstick Men, okay, cool, what's this? And I was fascinated by this film. I've loved it. Yeah, Pygmies indeed. Like, it was just. I just love the whole delivery of it. It's a man who's found out that his estranged daughter has come back into his life, and despite all his OCD, he now has to adapt to this system, and she wants in on the life that he lives, but his life is very, very, very methodical. So this element, and her being the wild card in his life, throws him off, but he still manages to teach her the game, and he adapts in life, and he becomes a better man for it. And then it takes this. It's will they be able to pull off the con with him being the way he is, her being the way she is? Has he done enough to teach her? Has she done enough to teach him? Can they coexist? Watch the film and find out. Hey, honestly, nothing but love on my end. It's going to get the 2 thumbs up.
2 thumbs up, not quite GOAT status. Okay.
No. But it's a 2 thumbs.
It's a 2 thumbs. Okay, I'm going to give it the 1 thumb. The only reason it doesn't get the 2 thumbs for me and it gets the uno is just because, unfortunately, like us, when you watch a lot of movies, you start to realize that there are certain patterns that repeat themselves. Not because of bad writing, but just because there are only so many stories you can tell, right? So, unfortunately, I saw the ending coming a mile off. It was one of those Veers moments that you had.
Yeah.
The moment he said to him, Never trust anyone. I was like, well, I know where this is going. Let's get there faster. But the performances are great. What I have to say shocks the living hell out of me in this. Sam Rockwell has been around for 20 plus years now and is still not being credited as one of the brilliant, great, if not top 5 actors working today. Like, am I the only guy who is enamored by this guy? Sam Rockwell doesn't do bad performances. Even in bad movies, he's good. Look at Iron Man 2. He is not the problem with that movie. Like, he's good in that film.
Yeah. That is one of those challenges, man. It is one of those challenges that some people just don't get the credit they do because people haven't trusted them with like the blockbuster movies, and because of what they do, they get cast in like serious films that don't have major attraction kind of thing, and the ones that should be able to blow them up hasn't been done. He just needs that one blow up movie, then the whole world looks at his catalog like, oh my god, I've been sleeping on it. Or
This
the other
completely.
My boy Sam Rockboy, I've known about him for time. You lot a bit like
You put him in the Green Mile, and he completely holds his own against the likes of Tom Hanks, arguably the GOAT, right? You put him by himself in a movie like Moon, and he crushes it. You put him opposite Christian Bale and Steve Carell in Vice and ask him to play a bumbling George W. Bush, and he kills it. The guy can do no wrong. And you more recently saw him in See How They Run, and you were saying he was brilliant in it. Like, he's fire, this guy. Like, really more justice for Sam. There you go.
I like that.
30 years old, AJ. Well, we just said Tom Hanks is... Yeah, I misspoke. He's not the GOAT, but we're going to talk about the GOAT now. You know where I'm going. We're going to talk about Daniel Day-Lewis. Oh, of course. Of course. Day-Lewis and a collaboration with Scorsese. Not Gangs of New York. Don't worry.
I'm trying to think. No. I mean, that would have thrown me right off. I would have just logged off.
Thankfully, Gangs of New York is not 30 years old yet.
Yeah.
But also starring Michelle Pfeiffer and Winona Ryder. A lot of people forget this is a Scorsese movie. The Age of Innocence.
Ah, of course. This was a goodie.
Oh, yeah.
It was a goodie.
And this showed a nice different side to Day-Lewis. And this, again, is a really good reason to show the range he has. Because if you compare him in something like In the Name of the Father, to My Left Foot, to Gangs of New York, to There Will Be Blood, to Age of Innocence, to My Beautiful Laundrette. Range. Like, good Lord, the range.
Hold on. Is this where he's Cecil?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh god, this is a good film. I'm 1985 brain kicking in here. Yeah, Cecil Vice. I remember this. It was a good film. I like the is it Torn Between Two Lovers? I remember it. I remember it being a good film. I'm gonna listen. Because of where the memory's at right now, and just a small refresher. If I read the synopsis, I'd be like, of course, it'd probably get 2 thumbs. I'm gonna give it a 1. Based off, I remember enjoying it, but I can't remember that. Look, I've called the name. I've called the name without a Google or whatever. I remember him being torn between 2 lovers. I just need a bit more refinement on this.
Torn between 2 lovers. Initially, the obviously the second person is not a lover. It's a woman who he's defending because she's going through some stuff, and then he becomes quite enamored with her, and then it becomes an impossible love triangle. Here's 2 thumbs. 1 for Daniel Day-Lewis, 1 for Martin Scorsese. Come at me. Yeah, give me some Ross action there. No, this is a fantastic film. It's very different to what Scorsese and Day-Lewis are noted for, but it's a worldie.
I remember it being really good. I remember really enjoying it, and it being fresh from like the other stuff I'd seen from Day-Lewis. I was like, oh, this is different. Hello.
So, does this shock you guys? Matchstick Man at 20 years old and The Age of Innocence at 30 years old. Have you seen these movies? Are you planning on seeing them now that we've talked a little bit about them? Let us know down below. And with that, we are wrapping yet another edition of Silver Screen News. Thank you, as always, for joining us right here on the Silver Screen Dudes YouTube channel. At the time of recording, we are at nearly 1,000 subscribers. So please, guys, keep spreading the word. Keep helping us out. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. do give us a like, and please do be sure to tell a friend, and do tune in every single day to our YouTube channel for daily movie content. And if you like the long show, you can tune back in next Wednesday, where we'll be giving you another dose of weekly movie news. My name's Nico Luro.
I'm the one AJ into the Jordan.
And we will see you guys next week. See ya.
See ya.